Yeah, nice.
I'll give you $4 for it. Beautiful, thank you, man. You're a little taller than I am, but that's
Oh.
Milt Hinton.
Milt?
Yeah.
Milt Hinton. No, Benny was asking who was talking.
Me, Benny Waters, you've been talking to one another for 50 years, man.
Yeah. Long time buddies.
Yeah.
I thought I would do a voice fan with it.
Yeah, man, I've been hanging around there listening to you and talking to you.
How you feel?
I'm standing, that's a plus.
That's very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you hit me to the mic, so I think too. You need to the mic, so.
Hey, we just made a record the other day, didn't we, Benny?
Yeah, that's right. I heard you
We
made.
did it together.
Huh?
We did a record the other day, didn't we?
Didn't you and Milt make a record? Weren't you telling me something about that?
Yeah, our boy, something, our bird.
Called Old Folks at Home.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
That's what the guy wanted. Old folks.
That's right.
Old cats on the block.
That's right.
Over 80.
Thank God you're still here.
Yeah.
Over 8, under 80, no good.
Yeah, who else was on the date?
Some of the trumpet player named C.T. Clark Terry.
Oh, yeah, we just saw him.
Gray was on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Joe Wilder, another trumpet player.
Yeah, that's somebody I haven't seen in a long
He's
time,
still
Joe.
there.
What's that girl who played the piano?
Jean Jarvis played the piano.
Yeah.
Jean
Oh, that's
Jarvis.
the baseball lady.
From Shea Stadium?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. She plays good,
Club
man.
with a lot.
Yeah, Donna Zeno.
Zeno.
Jean
Yeah.
Jarvis.
Thank God.
She's been around a long time.
Thank you. Mom, in a way.
She used to be the organist out of the Shea Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Jets. It was Mets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're very happy, Milt, that you could be here on the show today.
There's your aspect. Thank you.
And also, it was a pleasure to present you with the plaque from the Greater Jamaica Development
I
Corporation.
really appreciate that. I thank you very much.
Yeah, it was our pleasure. I wanted to ask you, who first inspired you to get into music? Was there anybody in particular that, you listened to that inspired you to want to play?
Well, I had a mother that had a very short fuse. She was a piano teacher.
Uh-huh.
And she found out then that it's hard to teach your own children.
Yeah.
She tried to teach me piano, and I just, you can't tell kids when they go to bed, when they get up, and try to play the piano too. And we always had a big argument. Then she had a young student that was so nice and sweet and lovely kid named Nat Cole.
Oh, Nat?
Nat was one of my mother's students, and he was always a nice cat, man.
Yeah.
And my mother used to say to me, "Why can't you be nice like Nathaniel?" And I couldn't stand him, man. So my mom was so determined that I'd get into music some kind of way. She sent me to a violin teacher, a guy named Professor Johnson, and he was great, man. I just loved him, man. He helped me out so very much, and I got to progress with the violin. You're doing very well. I was 13 years old. That was 1923. July 18th, 1923. I was 13 years old, and I started taking violin lessons. And by 1929, I was doing very good. I could play Mendelssohn's Concerto in E minor, man. I was doing big with the violin. But if you notice, in 1929, Al Jolson made the first sound movie. And before that, every neighborhood still had a violin, a drum, and a piano to play to the sound.
To
to
the screen, yeah.
But 1929, when Al Jolson made that first sound movie, they don't need that. Every violin player in Chicago lost his gig, and all the brothers in my neighborhood lost their gig because it's on the screen now.
Yeah.
But it didn't need no violin player. And here I'm just getting ready to get into this.
Just getting thing together, yeah.
But all my friends, all my peers was going to high school with me. Lionel Hampton, all them cats could play out the same instrument. He was on drums, and Scoops Carey was playing saxophone. Scooford Brown was playing saxophone.
Was this in Chicago?
In Chicago. Your uncle got
you've told me about that many times.
Basketball player.
Yeah.
And all them cats were doing great. And here I am out there, I got this violin and nobody hired me.
Time to make a change.
In Chicago, we had a lot of small clubs, man. All the black folks that come up from the South, because there's a lot of good jobs in Chicago. With the stockyards there, Porters in Chicago was like the center of the United States before airlines. Everybody came to Chicago to do business. So they need a lot of unskilled labor, which we had, you know. Porters, got red caps, and all that. So everybody had good jobs. Everybody was coming up from the South. Everybody folks come up from Mississippi. Nat King folks worked there for Alabama. And it was coming from everywhere. And we all met there. They got good jobs now, and they're making good money. They want their own kind of music. So they sit down south and got King Oliver, and Louis Armstrong, and Jerry Roll Morton.
So that's how they got to
Yeah,
Chicago.
they all came to Chicago because now we got these little clubs, and we can all play them. Jimmy Noon, great clarinet player. And now I'm delivering newspapers. I'm 16 years old. I'm delivering newspapers, and I go by the nightclubs in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and I see the brothers like Louis and them was in there. A nice cold glass in his hand, man. The waiters would put the chairs up on the table.
Yeah.
And this kid's got his tuxedo on. Nobody in my family had a tuxedo. He's got a nice cold glass in his hand, and the nice ladies that standing by him.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through that in my stack of papers. I said, that's where I got
You got to make a change.
So here I am.
I think he answered your question.
And then you began to play bass at that particular time?
Well, then I found out that when the violins couldn't get no jobs, I just got to figure another way out. And the only thing I could figure was a bass. I heard Norman Bro with Duke Ellington's band, this great bass player from New Orleans. I heard Bill Johnson that come up with King Oliver.
Yeah.
Big, great red bass player that stomped his foot and said, jump ahead. And these guys were working because wasn't there too many bass players. They'd come up from New Orleans with bass horns. But when they got to Chicago, the clubs was too small to have them big bass horns.
Yeah. There
was no marching to funerals. So instead, they had the clarinets and the trumpets and the trombones, but they wanted some bass fiddles. The bass horn was too loud. So it was only two or three, Wilman Bro, Pops Foster, Bill Johnson. They were all the black great bass players that I heard. And I said, maybe I can figure that out. It's a violin tuned up backwards, force become fierce. So I get in high school, I come to fool around with the bass. And I got to get my own system. I learned what the note was. The note was on the fourth line. I put it on my fourth finger. If it was on the third space, I put my second finger down. And if it flatted, I'd put my first finger down. And I didn't know the name of the note. Don't ask me the name of it. But nobody never asked you the name of it as long as you play.
As long as you got your system together.
That's how I got started. One night, some bass player got drunk, didn't show up. They said, well, get the kid. And I was making $9.25 a week for the newspapers. And the guy said, get that kid to kill this gig that night. A trumpet player named Hugh Swift. And I made $19 on the gig. Man, I thought that was
you never went back to papers after that, right?
No, man, that took me. I said, well, I better go on and do this thing. I better go on and practice and study and get me a teacher, because I don't want to go back to that newspaper.
The newspaper out, right?
So that's how I got hung up on that thing.
I wanted to ask you, was Eddie South played violin? Was he around?
Oh, yeah. Well, Eddie South was my great violin. He was my great idol.
Yeah.
I used to deliver newspapers to his mother. He was in Europe, doing great, and I still deliver newspapers. I go by his mother's house, and I see these pictures of this great violin player up on the wall. She said, that's my son. He's in Europe doing violin. I said, I hope someday you get to meet him. I said, yes, ma'am. That was about 1929, after Joseph made that sound movie.
Yeah.
Then, 1930, I started playing that violin, changed the bass. And by 31, Eddie South came back from Europe with a trio, and he needed a bass player. And so there I got the gig with Eddie South playing bass.
Oh.
And that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life. What a great artist, man. Just that he taught me so much, man, the technique about playing and bowing. And he was a fantastic player. Ever since then, I've been straight around trying to play with every one of the great violin players, like Joe Venuti, Stuff Smith, and all those great guys.
Stan, also I wanted to say it was a pleasure presenting you with Black.
Well, thank you.
And glad you could be there.
Milt's story is so similar to mine, though. The story he tells about how he got into the business and what made it, the motivation. That's the same story. My mother starting with my mother. It's the same story. I mean, I played a New Year's Eve gig one night, and the guy gave me $15. I was about 15 years old.
Yeah.
I said, what? And I was having so much fun. I was having so much fun. I couldn't believe he was going to pay me. Yeah. And when he paid me, that was it. I've been doing it ever since. I mean, it's the same kind of story. You know, the motivation was the music, of course, you know, but just the fact that, man, I can have fun and make money too.
Yeah. Well, at that time, where were you? Were you in
Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And at some point, you went to. I remember in reading over your bios, you were in Newark.
Oh yeah, I went to Newark in 1953.
And then Atlantic City was after Newark.
No. I was born and raised in Atlantic City.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Then I went to Newark in 1953, but I went back to Atlantic City. Then I came to New York in 1956. You know, but Newark is where I met so many people. Worked with quite a few people. There's so many people like
Was
J.J.
Sarah
Johnson.
around Newark at that time?
No, Sarah wasn't there. No, she was in New York, I think. But they used to have jazz sessions, jam sessions in Newark every Monday night, and people like Bird and J.J. and Oscar Pettiford and all kinds of people would come there. You know, so I got a chance to. I was only about 19, 20 years old then, but really it was a wealth of music. I mean, there was so much music, it was unbelievable. You know, but for me it was great.
But I remember when I came to New York, which was in '57, they were doing things in Newark at that time.
Right.
You know, they're still.
Yeah. Well, I recall seeing you uptown though. Was the jam session? Jam session uptown.
I mean, it's Smalls. It's Connie's right across the street.
Right. Yeah, I remember that when you came. I remember that. Yeah.
We got a guy sitting here to make me look like a schoolboy.
That's right.
Billy, remember that?
Huh?
You make me look like a schoolboy.
You okay, son?
Yeah, Benny, who inspired you in terms of getting into music?
Well, I came from a musical family. My brother was quite a virtuoso on the trumpet and also saxophone, and he played a little oboe and trombone. He had a military band in the country, in Maryland.
What town?
You say in Maryland?
Yes, where I was born. And I grew up in that from a kid, very young. Then he came to Pennsylvania, and I came there later on, and I borrowed his saxophone. And then I practiced every day. I didn't eat half the time. See? So then finally, I stayed down in Pennsylvania and worked around until I was about 18. Then I went to Boston to study music. I took up harmony and arpeggio.
Yeah.
And I worked with different guys around there and was going to school and teaching and doing all kinds of things. So, but I really didn't learn to play jazz until I came to New York in 1926.
In 26?
Yeah, that's where all the jazz was, you know. The first person that I jammed with after the first week that I was in New York, the first person I jammed with, but it wasn't my fault though. I didn't know he was going to be there. Was Coleman Hawkins. So when I was playing Georgia Brown, you know, I could play. I knew the harmony and everything, you know. See, I studied the hard chords and so forth. But someone called him up and had him come down to a little place called on 133rd Street. Anyway, I forget the name of the little after-hour joint. And when I look around, here come Coleman Hawkins came in, and he just stood around like he always do with his eyes down listening, you know. And I played 2 or 3 courses real good, see. But after he came in, I was playing, first thing I was playing someone else's horn, but he played real well, see, so I was kind of wiggly. So when Coleman came in, I stopped. So Coleman took over. And the funny thing about it, that Coleman played so much saxophone at that period, you know, as we all know. But the next day at the Rhythm Club on 132nd Street and 7th Avenue, they had it out that some little cat from Philadelphia came in and blew the hawk out. Which was a lie. Because I didn't play. I played before he did, you know?
Yeah, when he started playing, you
I stopped.
started listening, right?
I was working at the Smallest Paradise with Charlie Dawson's band. We had a great band there. So I wasn't gigging when I got or jamming. I was just jamming after hours, you know. Yeah,
it was. I remember somebody speaking about a place called Monroe's Uptown.
Yeah, I worked
Was
there
that happening at that time?
Sure, yeah. It's on 133rd Street, I think. And between 7th and Lenox. That was a smaller club. See, that was after our joint.
Oh, it was.
Our club started around 9 or 10 o'clock, but they wouldn't start until 1 or 2, till 12 or 1, you know.
How late would they go in the morning?
Oh, anytime.
Yeah, the sun up.
You went until the people stopped going in. People used to go to that club in the evening gowns at 8 o'clock in the morning and meeting the kids going to school. If you allow me, I'll tell you a little joke about that.
Okay.
I was on the corner of 135th Street and Lenox Avenue at a little place that the jazz club upstairs. I forget the name of that place right now. See, and it's right by the subway there. See, and it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, around 7:45 or something like, and two mothers were dressed in evening dresses and drunk. You know, they just came from. So the kids were going to school. So their kids, see. So one of the kids said, "Oh, hello, mommy. Hello, mommy. Hello, mommy." You know, and she says, "Hello. Whose little girl are you?" It was her own little girl.
Oh, no, she didn't recognize.
That's a true story, now. That was funny, man. I laughed like I said. They were high, you know.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea what time that the club just opened.
How late they were.
Yeah.
Early.
Our club had to close at least 4 o'clock. That's Small Paradise. You know, the mayor, what was in there? The mayor Walker, and he allowed the club to go until 4 o'clock.
You say now this was around in 1926.
In the 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
I went there in 1926, and I stayed 10 years, and then left and went back also.
Yeah. You went? When did you go to Europe? Because you stayed in Europe.
1952 exactly.
52.
Yeah, 1952 exactly. Yeah. And I just came back a couple of years ago. So.
You sure had some great run in Europe, man. I saw you every place over there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did pretty well in Europe, say.
Did you all work together whenever you would go over Milt?
No,
you and Milt.
I missed Milt there.
I got to jam with you one night in, what's that place now? What do you call it? Pig Alley? Where all the tough guys hang out.
Pig Alley.
Yeah, Pig Alley. Yeah, I went over there to do a television show with Maurice Chevalier.
Yeah.
And I had some time off, and the guy took me by this over like the Metropole in Paris.
In Paris, yeah. Club Seagull. They had a club called Seagull. Was that?
That's it. I worked there 10 years.
Yeah, I think that was it. And I would have got to him, if you're going to be over there, be careful, just go up and say hello and come on home, you know.
It wasn't that bad, though. I mean,
it was bad for me. When I got out of there, I didn't have a quarter, man. The kids took every dime I had. When I got up there and jammed with Benny and a bunch of guys, he didn't even know who I was, you know. Yeah. I jammed with him, and I went to the bar like a fool, and that's where they got me.
They mugged you right there in the club?
Well, they just mugged me and took my money and sent me home.
That's when it used to be, because I mean, that didn't happen so much in that club. It was a mixed crowd, mostly white. That's really.
Yeah.
But I stayed there 10 years. For the last 3 years, I had the band there. Then I kind of get tired. She started going on my own as a soloist. Yeah, I stayed there until 1969.
What part of Paris were you in? Were you in Left Bank or?
No, I lived up near the Republic. And that I don't know what they called it. They called it the 20th something. District.
Is that near Place Pigalle?
No.
Oh no, it's
that's altogether different. That Pigalle is 5. And I mean 20. See, that's a long way. See.
Yeah, Myrna.
Yes, sir.
How you feel?
I feel fine.
Yeah, welcome.
Especially sitting with all these wonderful musicians around me.
Yeah, it's beautiful gathering.
You feel safe with us old folks. Don't be too safe now.
Listen, I'm getting to be one of y'all. Yes, I do feel safe.
We can dream, can't we?
Who was your first inspiration in terms of singing?
Well, I really believe that what happened to me happened before I was even born. I mean, I believe the children hear before they're born. My grandfather had a choir, a traveling choir, they sang spirituals and they traveled over the northern United States and Canada. My father sang all the time. My mother sang.
Closer here.
Everybody was singing around me. And I understand that when first thing I did, I had a little rocking chair and I sit there and sing. It's a sin to tell a lie. I was 18 months old, they tell me.
Really?
I was singing ever since. My sister sings. I have 3 brothers, they sing. My grandfather on my father's side played the piano in one of those movie houses, you know, and the organ and so forth.
Yeah.
And my grandmother on my father's side, my grandmother's father was a song and dance man, they called it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've had it, you know, from
Yeah,
way
show
back
business
there.
for a long time.
So it's in the genes, I guess, you know. But I have always loved to sing, and I sing various types of music too. On Sundays, I'm singing in church in Queens, Union Congregational Church, as a soloist.
Oh, really? Every Sunday?
Every Sunday. I sing every other Sunday. There's another soloist there, and we trade off Sundays. And we do, you name it, Bach, Mozart, Duke Ellington.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. And spirituals in the church, they love it.
Yeah. What kind of church, what denomination is it?
It's a congregational church. It's Protestant, I guess you'd call it, Protestant church. And mostly the congregation are people who are first generation American born or from Germany. And of course they love their classical music, you know, but they love the spirituals too. They love it, they really do. So I enjoy being there with them. And I've also worked with Harold Ousley.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
With his Christmas suite, which really deserves to be. I think that could be televised and recorded.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that done.
I hope so.
Turn on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Ladies, give her a man a chance.
Yeah, I can just sit
Yeah,
on this.
yeah,
He's just sit on his lap.
yeah.
Yes.
But now, have there been any singers that you liked or you felt who's all right? Now, a lot of times people see someone and they emulate their style,
Well,
but everybody doesn't do that.
I don't know.
just-
People have told me that I sound like this person, that person, but I've come to realize that I believe people tell you that you sound like who they like. You see, whoever it is that they like, you sound like them. They tell me, some people have told me I sound like Gloria Lynn. I don't think I sound like Gloria Lynn. Or Ella Fitzgerald. I don't think I sound like Ella Fitzgerald. Or Sarah Vaughan, I don't think I sound like
No,
them.
to me, you
But-
have your own sound and style.
But people will say that to you. You know, oh, you sound just like so-and-so. I say, oh, thank you. Take it, you know, as a great compliment when people like what you do.
Yeah, that's
And it
important.
makes you feel so good.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of times it's meaningful. Well, I think most of the time it's meaningful when other people can appreciate what you're doing. You know, that's like
They let you know.
confirmation, at least that you're going in the right
They
direction.
let you know, that's right.
Yeah, that's
They do.
important.
It is important, very important to me.
You know, it's a beautiful thing that everything we say, most of us here, and if you switch around musicians, most of us have come through the church some kind of way. Since you mentioned how coming out of the church, all our great singers, and like I said, my mother was the organist of a church. And regardless of what denomination it was, that we all come through some churches. I remember I worked for Bing Crosby. I was with Bing Crosby on his last tour when he died in Europe. And we used to, musicians, we always talked about what denomination we were. Some of us were Catholic, some of us were Protestant. But each one of us had some kind of funny story to tell about what happened in our church. And I remember one beautiful story that had us all laughing. That Bing Crosby talked about how he used to sing in the church when he was a kid. And he told a story about this little lady, old lady, and she was old, and all she had was a dog. And she loved that dog. And the dog died. So the lady took the dog down to the church, and she says, Father, says, my dog died. And the father said, well, that's too bad, sister. I'm very sad to hear about that. So she says, could we have some kind of service for my dog? And the father said, well, sister, we don't have any kind of service in the literature for dogs. He said, but if you go to that church down on the corner, you might ask them maybe they got some kind of service for a dog. So she said, oh, you think so? She said, I'll be ready to give them $300,000 or $400,000. The father said,
He said, wait a
the
minute.
father said, sister, why didn't you tell me the dog was Catholic? Big Joe was that joke. He was devout Catholic, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He had so many beautiful stories about that.
Well, speaking about coming out of the church, Earl, you affiliated
Oh, yes.
with the church, right?
Definitely.
When you first started playing in the church?
Oh,
or-
yes, yes. My family, my mother was an organist. She was a church organist. And my father was a singer. And I grew up playing the drums in the church. My brother sang, my sisters, everybody had to play an instrument. So we started out very young, from like 4 or 5 years old. And I've been playing since then.
This was in Newark?
Yes, in Newark. I was born and raised in Newark.
Yeah.
And I've been in Queens for about 5 years now.
Can you... And let's see, well, you've been in New York for how long now?
About 5 years now.
About
I've been
5
living
years.
in Jamaica, Queens. Yes.
You ever get a chance to go back to Newark?
Yes, very, very frequently. As a matter of fact, until about a year ago, I was still working in Newark, so I was commuting every day. And I finally got a transfer, so I'm working in the Queens area now.
Queens area.
Yes.
That's great.
But I go back to Newark all the time.
Because family is still...
Yes, yes. And I still go to church with them sometimes, and I still I still play in the church quite a bit. So that's my roots.
Yes, roots.
Yes.
It's good roots.
Mm-hmm.
Michael.
Yes.
Michael Fleming. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, sound great.
Super bassist, super bassist.
Yeah. Taking care of business. Now, Michael, you're from where?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati. You came to New York when? What year? Do you remember? What?
Let me see. It was 1963 officially.
Well, what motivated you to come more or less? I mean, you had...
Well, I knew it was the mecca for music.
Yeah. Did you come with a band or you just came on your own?
Yeah, I came with a group called the Modern Jazz Disciples, and we played at Count Basie's.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's where I met you.
Yeah. I was at Basis for a while, on Monday nights and Sunday afternoons. Yeah, everybody used to come through there.
That's right.
You know. So you were at Basis for how long?
Oh, I guess we were there for about 3 weeks. See, Count Basie was managing that group at the time.
Oh, he was managing the group that you were with?
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's how that came about.
And then you stayed in New York ever since then?
No, I went back and I bought that very bass there, and came back the next fall. That was in the spring of '63, around Easter time, you know. And then I went home and got a better instrument and just prepared to come. I was waiting for an opportunity to come to New York, and when the opportunity came, I
got in the wind.
I'd come to New York in 1960.
60.
Check things out, and so it was just a matter of time, you know.
Well, did you work around New York or you traveled in and out? I know some people when they come here, right after they get here, they might start traveling with, known group or whatever.
Well, I was very fortunate. I got a job with Mary Lou Williams.
Oh, yeah, I remember Mary Lou, yeah.
Shortly after I came, she was coming out of retirement, so that was really a wonderful thing. I mean, that I can't think of anything better to happen, because I always call her my musical mother.
Yeah. She was always a very beautiful person, in addition to her being very talented artist. You know, she always had a warm heart and was always, helping musicians and people. She was, always that kind of person.
She was concerned deeply about the future of musicians, and through talking to her, I got an idea of how musicians were changing as people. She was always talking about that naturally, their spirituality and all of that, and their camaraderie, and how they used to be and how they are and how she thought they would eventually become. And at the time, a lot of it, I was a much younger man, and a lot of it I didn't listen to seriously because my mind was on other things. But when I played back those conversations, she was dead on it.
Yeah.
She was right.
Yeah, she was very knowledgeable.
She knew.
You know,
She knew.
deep spiritual roots.
That's right.
You know, I just want to mention while Michael was talking, some of the happiest days of my career here in New York City, which is long, was playing with a group we had in New York called the New York Bass Violin Choir. We had 5 or 6 basses, and we practiced almost every day together. And the most beautiful human beings, bass players seem to have a mutual admiration society.
Yeah.
We come one to a customer in jazz, and we love one another. We very seldom get to see each other. Yeah. So when we do, we're kind of warm. We try to share any kind of work that we can get onto.
Yeah.
And we had this group. It was conducted by Bill Lee, Spike Lee's father.
Yeah.
He's a talented musician, a very brilliant man.
I knew him from Chicago.
And a great writer. And he organized this group, and we had 5 of the finest bass players I've ever been around in my life. Bill Lee wrote all of the music. Michael Fleming was one of the bass players. Sam Jones, great bass player, was another bass player.
Lyle
Atkinson was another bass player.
Richard Davis,
Ron Carter, and yours truly. And we practiced religiously every time we get a chance. At 9 o'clock in the morning, we'd meet in Manhattan at Richard Davis's house. I lived in Long Island. I'd come in, Michael would come in, Sam Jones would come from New Jersey, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, it would look like 6 or 7 big trees standing right there. Richard Davis opened the door. And we religiously practiced, and the most beautiful sound. We never got a chance to really record it.
That's what I was going to ask you. You never recorded
it? We made
it?
a record once, but it wasn't proper. We didn't have the proper facilities for it. It didn't have nearly the sound that we wanted to have. But I'm the keeper of the tapes, and someday we must get together because I've got some tapes not finished recording, but the beautiful sound of how these basses and compositions that Bill Lee wrote. And Michael was such an important part of that group. We went one place down in what's the place down in the village? Vanguard. We worked one night down there, got $17 a piece, I think.
How much it was? It wasn't a lot of money.
We give most of the money to Bill Lee because he wasn't doing too good. To get some more, to make some paper so he could write some more music. I've got pictures from that thing that I took. Spike Lee was a little boy. Standing right on the corner, his father would hold him by the hand.
Really?
So it's so wonderful for a guy like me to see what great progress has made with Spike Lee.
Yes,
and see Mike have his big orchestras. And Spike Lee's orchestras supporting his pictures. He has like 75 or 80 men.
That's right, 80.
Yeah, Michael Fleming was the contractor, he was hired a musician. Really enjoyed to see that. He's had an important part in the jazz and music.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge. It's been, I don't know if Judge, we call Milt Hinton.
Okay.
Keep talking.
We call Milt Hinton the judge.
Yes.
I don't know where he got the name, but
I don't either.
that's what we all call him.
I was older than anybody else.
But I don't know if he ever imagined how it felt to me to be among. I was the youngest one in that group, but to be there and listen to everybody's sound. The judge had a sound, Ron had a sound, Richard, Lyle, all of them. Bill Lee, they all had a different sound.
Yeah.
And just to rehearse the music and just to watch how everybody approached the technical problems, because Bill always wrote a little above everybody's head,
Right.
no matter how well the guys played.
Yeah.
So that was like a school for me, just to be in there. And it was like a religious experience too, because of the camaraderie and the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And all of these guys, I was like their little brother.
Yeah,
And it was great.
It was really,
Yeah, I
really
remember
tremendous.
seeing The Roof on Channel 13.
Yeah.
Because Bill used to write poetry also, you know.
Oh, really?
So he would recite poetry while the
Oh,
bass
yeah,
was playing.
that's right.
I mean, he had, Bill Lee had a lot of things.
We did a couple of operas. He
Right.
yeah, he wrote, he called them narrative folk operas, and all the music
One
fit
Mile
with
East.
that. One, yeah,
One Mile East.
yeah, 1 Mile East and Baby Sweets.
Great talented
Oh,
son.
like
Yeah,
Walter
yeah, it was
Perkins.
named after Walter Perkins. A whole opera about that Chicago scene or New York scene, how
That's
that
right.
worked. And it was all there. It's really historical documentation of the life of the jazz musician. That particular one, Baby Sweets.
He used to say, nobody called me for the gigs. He said, before they get ready to go up on the road, Hank gets the job.
That's what the piano player.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he said, I'm so good, the piano player says, I'm so good, I can sub for anybody. I can even sub for Horace Silver. Now, who can sub for Horace Silver? That takes out. But this is the kind of talk that, you know, the musicians, some people, you know, musicians talk that way. So that was such a great experience. And we played in 1971, we played the New York Jazz Festival. I think
That's
that was
right.
one of our
And we went
finest
what's that school down south? We went and did the opera.
Yeah.
Like Bill's sister's teachers.
Chapel Hill?
No, we were artists in residence at Hampton Institute.
That's right,
Took
at
a whole
Hampton.
week.
Oh, yeah.
Whole week, all of us went down there.
And the music students, that was part of their work, their study, to do this show. We put on one of the operas in its entirety.
Sure
Spent
did.
a whole week. Everybody just dropped their schedule, dropped whatever they were doing. And at that time, man, the judge, Ron Carter, Richard, they were red hot in the studio. So it wasn't a matter of money. They did it. It was a labor of love. They dropped.
We're so
dropped
happy we
everything.
did it too. It was just a labor of love.
I remember
Yeah, I heard it was
having
a great
seen
sound,
them
man, yeah.
at I don't know, it was not Van Cortlandt, in Central Park.
Yes, that's right.
Oh.
The bass choir in Central Park.
That was a
And
great
you could have heard a
concert.
pin drop there, and everybody was so intent on hearing everything. It was really beautiful.
There was.
You know what that concert was about? That was that concert consisted of 3 major groups. The bass choir, which was made up of bass players, the piano choir, which had 7 pianos,
That's right.
and the boom ensemble, Max Roach.
Max Roach, yeah, boom.
And that group is still going. And that whole thing was coordinated, and that's what you saw.
Yes. Yeah,
That was a
a really
historical
fun show.
moment you witnessed there.
Yeah, man, that
Yeah,
had to
they
be.
didn't have the videos going.
All right, listen, let's play some more music.
Oh, good.
Okay?
All right.
Maybe we can do some blues.
Some blues?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Well, blues is everybody's business. Yeah.
Can't lose with the blues.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Out of sight.
That is nothing but